Hello and welcome to Dad's Dad Job Podcast Live, episode 18. As you can see, I'm your host Adam Neverbarrow, and this is Rob Horton.
How you doing, guys? Everyone well?
Yeah. I think. Well, there's no one looking at the minute, but
I see. I seem to have misunderstood the premise.
This is a trial. It's a trial and error.
That's okay. We'll learn.
Has things been, mate? Have it been alright?
Yeah, everything is good actually. First of all, Callum, we miss you, and we hope that Bo is feeling better and everything is recharged real soon.
And we hope that the infection's cleared up.
But yeah, personally, I'm really good. Coming off the back of a busy couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to kind of riding out the end of January. So for those who don't know, I teach gymnastics and cheerleading, and I work during the week for a charity in East London, and then for and then I'm also self-employed and I do my own thing and I travel around teaching gymnastics to other programs. But I try to load the first 2 weeks of the month so I can have the second 2 weekends of the month off. So I'm looking forward now to having that kind of little stretch where I get to have a little bit more time at home. So yeah, what about you, Adam?
Yeah, things been fine and dandy like sweet sour candy, mate.
Have you been practicing that, mate?
No, I haven't.
I'm cringing for you.
You're cringe, yeah. Well, cringe is my middle name. Things have been good. I mean, obviously, Callum's not here, so I'll talk about our week. Basically, it was Bo's birthday. Went and done a little bit of soft play in Sudbury, and I must admit it was very, very good. Well organised, nice and clean. Staff there are really great. Mate, it's nothing worse than going to a soft play that's messy.
Are you doing a live Google review?
I'm not going to say who they are.
Oh, right, okay.
But no, I thought it was fairly good. I mean, as good as it could be for a 3-year-old's party, right? It was jelly and ice cream, past the parcel.
Pretty banging. Did they play Lucky's Dad's rules?
No, they didn't play Lucky's Dad's rules.
What? Everyone got a gift?
Yeah, Connie Connie was quite impressed at the fact that she got some squishies.
Pathetic. You're supposed to play Lucky's Dad rules, right? Yeah, but everyone loves Lucky's Dad rules.
Yeah, but I agree with the other parents in Bluey and that, because you try and dumb down all the.
No, do you know what? The problem is you're a snowflake. You're melting in my hand. Ridiculous. Lucky's Dad rules.
I wouldn't say I was a snowflake. I would say I was more like a bit of sleep.
Sleep, really annoying and irritating.
Coming down, already melting.
Okay. No, I was gutted. I missed Bo's birthday party. I was working in Guernsey this weekend. Actually, I was delivering some gymnastics over there, and I was pretty gutted not to be able to go. So, but by all accounts, it sounded like it was amazing. So yeah, but I did get to have some nice family time at the weekend. I'm
listening. I'm just sharing our live video.
Yeah, to all those viewers.
To all that one viewer. Yeah. Thank you. Hi, Dad.
Hello, mate. I'm in.
He's not on yet.
Oh, is he not? No, I did get to have some weekend time with the family this weekend. This weekend past though, we went to Jimmy's farm, right? Now, it's not my first visit to Jimmy's farm. However, right, if you get the chance to go, spend your money and go to Jimmy's farm, right? Have you ever been?
No, I've heard good things.
So you know that he's like Jamie Oliver's best mate or whatever, right? It's that guy. He had the TV series.
I know he is. Yeah.
Okay, so we went there.
He's the one that does all the shit barbecues, doesn't he?
Oh, well,
that makes a barbecue out of bricks and some chicken coop or something, doesn't he?
I don't know. Does he use meat? Then I probably wouldn't have watched it.
I don't know. I was more fascinated about how he made a barbecue out of like pillowcases or something.
No, I went there. I went there way back, and then in the last couple of years we've been a few times, but we've gone back more recently because they've got the bears now, haven't they? So they rescued.
Even bears, mate.
I love bears, mate. I love them. They rescued a couple of polar bears, and they've also rescued now a couple of European brown bears.
Okay.
We went this weekend because they had like a special deal on, and sadly the brown European bears were in hibernation, right? So I was a little bit gutted, but the polar bears are out, right?
Right.
They've got more polar bears now, and the polar bears, when we went there, someone had paid for a polar bear feeding experience. So we were like watching these massive polar bears, right? Being fed watermelon. It was incredible. Funny fact, right? Did you know that apparently, I don't know if this is true, right?
Your facts better be right, mate.
No, I think it's close to being true, right? Or close to being accurate. This is a fact, right? So you know bears, right? And you know how aggressive and vicious they can be.
What sort of bear?
Brown bears.
Brown bears.
Like brown bears, polar bears, whatever, right?
Not like Yogi Bear. Or...
Not like Yogi or panda bears, right? I'm talking about like proper bears, right?
Did they nick a picnic basket?
Not just listen to my story, all right?
All right, sorry.
And apparently 1 in 10 Americans think they could take a bear. It came through, and I was watching it, and it says something like 1 in 10 Americans think that they can take a bear, and then there was like a video that followed it of 2 bears fighting. Listen, mate, we wouldn't even touch the sides. We'd be absolutely annihilated. So to come full circle, we love going to Jimmy's farm anyway. There's donkeys there. Like, I love donkeys as well. The kids all like in there. Alea's like in the elements.
I'm an ass man as well. I'm an ass man as well.
Okay. Well, I'm sure Kerry's going to enjoy it. I'm sure Michael would go from Jimmy's farm to WWE. And
anything's on. No, it's off limits today.
Nothing is. Oh, right, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And the kids love it. It's such an engaging experience, right? I highly recommend it. Jimmy's farm is well worth your time.
Whereabouts is that? Is that
it's just
Ipswich way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just up towards. It's only about 45 minutes away from where we are, so it's not too. It's probably a 2-hour drive out of London, but for the 2 hours you could spend that easily, and more going around, especially if the weather's good. Like this time of year, like I said, it's probably a little bit of a shame because the brown bears are out, but it's banging. Cool. Highly recommend it. So that was my Saturday, and then this weekend we've got something really cool as well. So we're celebrating a few birthdays on Sunday because there's a few January birthdays in our family.
Yep.
So we're doing that on Sunday, but on Saturday we are taking the kids to a place called Club 66, which is kind of like this. I don't know if exclusive is the right word, but it's like this exclusive book shop, right? Where you go in, you sign up. You can sign up on the day, right, and get a membership. But you can sign in. It's basically like a warehouse of books,
right? And
they're all like, I think it's something like. That's the dog.
I was just saying, it's your stomach will.
Sorry, man.
I know you had a vegan Mexican this evening.
Yeah, it was a good vegan Mexican. But the books are like 70% off, right? Or up to 70% off. And there's these like amazing finds in there. And we like reading with the kids.
Why isn't it not 66% off?
I know that's a missed opportunity.
That's isn't it? That's Club 66.
Maybe they just rounded it up to 70% for the sake of. I don't know.
Yeah, but for the sake of 4%, you've got a marketing bit of gold there.
Marketing genius.
Yeah.
But no.
Do better.
But it's really popular. It's quite popular as far as I know. Anyway, it's quite popular on things like BookTok, if you're into that type of thing.
Yeah.
But like, basically, we intend to just buy the kids a load of books and then pick up copies of books with better covers than the ones that we've already got. I'm a big reader, and so is Kelly. So. We're really looking forward to that on Saturday. We've been talking about going for ages, and we were just like, we should just go. So that's what we're doing this weekend. So they're my goals, really. What about you? Goals? You talked about the birthday.
Yeah. So there's one special birthday, and that's my daughter's. So Connie turns 3 on Saturday, and that time period has just gone so quick. It's like I still remember bringing her home or the day she was born, and funny enough, the day she was born, we had the radio on in the hospital, and Kerry Moore loved me for saying this, but in the radio it was Heart Essex, and Diana Ross, I'm Coming Out was on as she was being born. You couldn't write it. You're like, I'm coming out.
I'm sure.
But I'm sure
Kerry's really
on
that. I'm sure Kerry's really grateful.
Yeah. But she's 3 years old now. I mean, I think we've gone past. It's weird because we've gone past like the terrible 2 stage. I don't think we ever really witnessed it.
Is she a 3-nager yet?
I think it's 3-nager time now. Like it's beyond the point where she don't listen to you and get off the sofa, the top of the, like literally sitting up here. She'll stand up there. She'll try and fall down the back, and she'll try and stand on a coffee table to jump onto a footstool to jump on the sofa. You tell her no, and she don't listen. So she does it again. She falls over, cries, runs off, and then trips up her own toys and smashes her chin on the toy box. So that's what we had the past couple of days. She wants to stand up in the bath now, which is a worry always. It's always it's like, Connie, sit down. But I want to stand up. I want to clean the tiles. Getting the sponge out, just clean the tiles.
Do you know when you tell her off, right? Do you go like Connie? Yeah,
no, we do. It's very Peter Kay-esque. So, but that's why she's always laughing, because every time we say it, we're like, you can't say it seriously.
Now you've repeated it.
Yeah. Connie. Oh well, yeah. But she's started to be a bit not disobedient because she's not a dog, but she's not listening and she's not doing as she's told. But other than that, she's generally a good kid, and I think she's just pushing the boundaries a bit too much.
I think you've also got to be kind of grateful that she hasn't got a sibling, because what she'll do is, so like with Alea, she'll wait until I'm like telling Danny off, right? And I'll be like, Danny, make sure that you've done whatever. And she's like, yeah, Danny, it's important that you made sure you've done this. And I'm like, listen, mate, this is not the time for you to start thinking that you've got like a role to play here. You sit over there, be quiet. Yeah. So yeah, totally relatable. But 3, that's pretty cool. Are you doing anything nice for her?
She said she wanted a heart party, especially with Halloween. Valentine's Day, 2.5 weeks away. Okay. So
she understands time as well.
Yeah. So it's quite considerate.
The Einstein.
It's quite considerate of her to actually be thinking about having heart decorations, and then it's Valentine's Day, so it's 2 for 1.
Yeah.
But as Kerry has been going out doing the vast majority of everything. Cheers for that. To go out and find a heart cake has been challenging. To go out and find heart balloons has been quite challenging. So you think, Connie's been quite considerate and thinking about Valentine's Day, but in fact, there's actually been a lack of it. You have to go on Amazon and stuff like that. So Kerry went out. She got a cake, so but got stick-on like icing, love hearts and stuff.
Yep.
So as we're going, it's your birthday soon, Connie. Like, you're gonna have a nice heart themed cake. And she goes, I want a bluey cake. Yesterday, after we've got all the bits, she goes, I want a bluey cake.
Like he's
Kerry's looking at her like, no, he wanted the heart party. She goes, no, I want a bluey party now. I'm like, can't win. So you can't win.
You know what though? Bluey's a win though, isn't it? Surely Bluey's a win.
Oh yeah, Bluey, 100%.
Mate, 100%. Listen, we need to have a whole episode dedicated to Bluey.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
I love Bluey. I actually love it, mate. Although, I think we need to also have the chat that none of us, me, you, Callum, or any other dad living in this world can live up to Dad.
Well, Bandit.
Bandit is incredible.
Yeah, but...
He is incredible, mate.
Yeah, but no dad's like Bandit.
He's top tier, mate.
If there's a dad out there that is like Bandit...
We need to kill him.
And he's got blue fur, then we need to...
we need to kill him if this Bandit guy exists.
He's setting a bad example to the rest of us. But
he's so... I love it. What's your favourite Bluey episode?
The one I posted on our Instagram.
Bang on that one.
It's just so simple.
It's so good, that one. I love that one. The one that you posted. So that's the one about her going to bed.
Yeah. I'm a big girl now. That's all.
That one. Yeah. I love cricket.
Yeah, the cricket one's good.
Cricket one's great. I like the one when the little kid steals the phone. That one's funny.
Oh, yeah, Muffin.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
And I like the one...
Connie is definitely a Muffin.
Right.
I think.
Okay.
I think if I had to... she likes bingo, but... She's definitely a Muffin.
Alea is a bit of a bingo, and wait, is that the little sister?
Bingo, yeah.
Yeah. Alea's a bit of a bingo, but you don't have a brother, right? So we've talked about that before, but I love the one where they're playing squash
Yes.
That is because that is literally me and Callum. It's literally Callum and I. We're playing squash and we're desperate, absolutely desperate to beat each other.
Yeah.
And we were so competitive. And actually, I've got an anecdote. When me and Callum were young, Callum was so much better than me at football. And I played football. I didn't play to any sort of level that was like outstanding, but Callum played to a good level of football, and I played in like the Essex Sunday Combination League. I think that's what it's called, and got to a couple of cup finals. And I was a defender, so I had some good times. But cricket was my sport when I was younger, and I can remember Callum was going to beat me at cricket one time. Right, and it got down to like I don't know how many points I'd got, and it got down to like he was going to beat me by like he had one run to beat me. And I remember I bowled him, right? And I celebrated it like my life had been.
Shane Warne.
I was like, well, you know what it was? I was like, he's got football. He can't take cricket from me.
Yeah.
Like he can't take cricket from me. And I bowled probably the ball of my life. And to show you how accurate this bowling was, right? We were using a basketball nets pole as our wicket. So that's how thin this wicket was, right? It was only like this, wasn't it? The wickets are normally like this. And I honestly, it was such a time because we were so competitive.
Yeah.
So like that Bluey episode is just like literally me and Callum.
I've got a similar sort of thing like when like with my dad, because I used to do a lot of stuff with my dad, and we'd go out and like play football or play darts or whatever. But we used to go golf quite a lot, and like my dad had stomach cancer, and obviously he recovered from it. But then he was trying to get back in the motion of doing everyday things. So I said to him, I'll take you golf, Dad. And I've never beaten my dad. Never beaten him in darts. If I go 2-0 up, he'll beat me 3-2 or anything like that. Quizzes, anything. He would always beat me. So I thought, well, okay, I'll take him golf just to kind of boost his confidence. So we went over there, just playing golf and stuff. And, he's getting into the swing of it. He's starting to find his range and stuff. And he gets like the last couple of holes. And I was leading by like 2 shots, and he said to me, I've got to drive this. He goes, if I miss this, you've pretty much won. I went, yeah. I said, yeah. I said, well, it'll be a first, wouldn't it? I said, like, it's almost like passing the baton, like almost he's been taking over the reins of the dad. And but I was out of order because as he lined up to do his drive, I went, to be fair though, Dad, you are a cancer victim. And it completely threw him off his game. He went, well, I can't win now, can I? Completely threw him off. I was like, mate, ridiculous. But so it's just like, I kind of took advantage of my dad on that one. But now the baton has been passed, and a beer has been exchanged over that. But that's probably the nearest competitive thing I've got. So I've been an only child. I haven't got any brothers or sisters, so to have that's
generally how being an only child works.
Pretty much, being competitive with your parents on every daily basis. So family life's good. Got family coming around from Southampton up to us this weekend. Nice. So we're going to have a house full.
What is that? Our sponsor coming up, is it?
Yeah.
Have a word with him.
Yeah. Abshot Cars in Leon Solent, Southampton area. Find all your best second-hand cars.
Can't promote it yet, mate.
No, I can't promote it.
No,
I can't promote it. Yeah. They're not the best second-hand cars.
Yeah, you can't promote a non-promoter. You can't promote a non-promoter, mate. That's how it works.
No, bless him. So should we? Obviously, we've spoken about the family life stuff. I mean, is there any other?
I would like to make a public apology to my wife for a certain Instagram post.
This is the thing. You gone too ballsy, ain't you? And you felt harsh punishment.
I think I found my niche, right? So I didn't really know how to contribute to the Instagram page. Instagram page is Dad's Our Job. Is that right?
Dads.our.job.
Oh, dads.our.job. Right. So follow our Instagram, and I made a post just sort of tongue in cheek of me drinking a coffee, and saying that no one got harmed this morning. The homework was done. This is on Wednesday. My book's coming out next month, and I didn't think it was going to make anything of But Kelly saw the post, and she was like, "I don't know how to feel about this."
That's all she told me.
Needless to needless to say, I followed up that post with an apology this morning, and I also changed the book that I had in the background to a copy of 1984, because clearly I am being watched more closely. Then I realise it's not a case of Big Brother is watching me. Big Wife is watching
Big Wife is watching you.
And by
it's almost like the Squid Games.
I mean the boss.
It's the Squid Games, but your wife is the doll.
I went past the red light, green light. I got shot down. So
no, you went amber and you got punished.
So I would like to make a public apology. However, I will be sharing another one tomorrow because those posts are quite fun to do.
Yeah. and you can show off your extensive catalogue of books.
Yeah, so. You'll know how my day's really going by the book in the background. Whatever book I put there. But yeah, so that's for the family, I think. Yeah, should we move on?
Yeah, I mean, what do you want to talk about? Is there anything interesting about Arsenal since we've last spoke?
Well, when you put on the schedule, you put Daily Arsenal.
The Daily Arsenal. Adrian Durham. Little link there.
Don't give me the Adrian Durham link. He's such. Do you know what? Yeah, he is the original clickbait.
Well, yeah, because the other thing interesting was happening with Arsenal successfully during that banter years.
I've basically come to the epiphany.
I can talk. I'm a West Ham fan, so.
But in fairness, my epiphany is that TalkSport does not exist without Arsenal fans. I'm being serious. Because Arsenal fans are the most trigger happy when it comes to defending their club. There is not a fan base in the world.
And you love a poll.
That is quickest.
Your fans love a poll.
Listen, this is how you know Arsenal fans are the best fans in the world. As soon as someone says something negative about their club, they are straight on at TalkSport. Straight away.
Well, yeah.
Arsenal fans are incredible for it, but I'm telling you, TalkSport does not exist without that Arsenal fan base. Because
that and Spurs,
and the thing is, Adrian Durham knows it. That's why he's so good at playing the game. Even now, because he's not even doing any of the talk stuff. He just does he does a great job, by the way. But he does like the football roundups, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's amazing at it, and he was amazing at his other job as well because he got people to call in. But even now, he still does the little digs when he's... What's the other one? The Moose. Him and the Moose. They love the dig. They love a dig at Arsenal fans.
I can't stand the Moose.
I don't dislike the Moose. He's harmless.
The Moose has got a diet the same as my daughter.
Don't shame him.
No. Well, he opened his... I'm not shaming him. He's come out and factfully said this, that if he goes abroad, they'll only eat burgers. I'm like...
Can't go wrong with burger, though.
No, you can't.
It's pretty safe in terms of you're
visiting Italy, you're visiting Spain, and like doing Champions League coverage, or you're doing European Cups or whatever.
Do you know what?
And then you go to Spain and have McDonald's.
Do you know what though? He's got a great laugh, hasn't he?
No,
I love his laugh.
It.
Yeah,
I'm not having it. He's a West Ham fan, but I think he's a secret closet Spurs fan.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Oh God, no, that's awful. No, yeah. I don't mind.
I think quite a few people will agree. I think most West Ham fans will probably agree with that.
Okay. I think to come full circle, I think Adrian Durham is a sensei at what he does. I think he's incredible, but that doesn't mean that I find him tolerable a lot of the time. But I think he's very good at doing what his job requires him to do.
Yeah,
which is get people to phone in. So Daily Arsenal then. All right, I had I did make some notes on this. So Kai Havertz had, and I'm going to talk more about Kai Havertz later, but he scored again to kind of make up for a dire December.
How much you pay for him?
65.
65. I mean, when you think Spurs have paid how much for a proven striker and they've not really got a massive return on that.
I wasn't going to...
Not a dig at Spurs, it's just factual.
I wasn't going to go into detail about it.
I will go there.
Well, I wasn't even going to go into detail on it, but I'm totally with you. Like, a lot of the people who are the loudest when it comes to Havertz, right, are the ones who have had the biggest flops, right?
Yeah.
You look at look at what Man United have spent on, so many. And then you look at what Spurs have done, right?
Yeah.
And I don't dislike Solanke, by the way. It's a shame that he's a Tottenham player now. He's another one I think grew up an Arsenal fan. But
did he?
I think so.
Did he really?
I think so. I mean, it doesn't. If I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. Like, fine. But I think that he had a. I'll talk more about making a case for Kai later. But he had a woeful December in mid-January, and he should have scored his penalty and the goals that he had the chance to score against Man United in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
But other than that.
Is that your stomach again?
Yeah. Other than that, I'm not interested. You know, you look at your Antonys of the world, you look at your Christian Nkunkus of the world, and Solanke right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not having it. Like I am not having it. Like, and Erling Haaland is a masterpiece, but he hasn't been great this season. I mean, he still outscored Havertz, but like, you know, Erling Haaland isn't performing at his top ability. I think that actually, fair play to you. You were so low probably a week and a half ago. You scored a goal against Aston Villa that prevented us losing in the end because we drew. Mm-hmm. We should have won that game, but his goal meant that we drew. And then you scored a goal and assisted to basically ensure that we go through to the last 16. So I think that's positive for Arsenal. I think Ranieri and Calafiori making the bench and Ranieri coming on was really good for Arsenal. 500 Arteta goals, and guess who scored the 500th?
Declan Rice.
Kai Havertz.
Oh.
But Declan Rice's goal, by the way, the assist for Havertz from that goal was beautiful. Havertz was falling over.
I didn't watch it. Oh,
that's fine. Havertz was falling over. Second minute, so Havertz was falling over, and he was going, and he played the ball to Declan Rice, who just absolutely levered it past the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper didn't move. But Havertz assisted it, and then he scored the 500th goal of the Arteta era. Wow. And then on the other side of that, Benny Blanco is back in full training. Now, let me tell you right now, I cannot wait for Dubai season, Benny Blanco, to help us finish the season.
Dubai season?
Yeah, Dubai season. You know, like...
Riyadh season.
Dubai.
Yeah.
They go to Dubai.
Oh, I thought you meant that Riyadh season, like side.
No, because they go to them. They do their like training, didn't they?
Oh, do they?
And like after they did their Dubai training last year, Arsenal went on that ridiculous run.
Right. Okay.
So I can't wait for Dubai season.
Team bonding.
Benny Blanco, and I think it just shows how amazing Timber has been because when Benny's back, you have to. I'm going to make a joke about his tan in a minute, but when Benny is back, you have to think that he's going to go back to right back and Timber's going to be the left back. And I think it just shows how great Timber's been because actually he's played left back, centre back, and right back.
I think if he was fit,
incredible.
If he was fit last year, I think you probably would have won the league.
I think you're probably right. I agree with you because we wouldn't have been playing Zinchenko as much. But
yeah,
I also and then I saw online that somebody has put we should all get a spray tan in honour of Benny Blanco's return, and it's so funny.
No, well, you might as well put full factor 50 and put on everyone's back 9 Jesus.
Do you know what? Do you know what though?
in love and memory of your player that fell over.
Do you know what though? I there was a lot of people who was like, oh, that's cringe and whatever, and I was like,
it is cringe.
But you know what? It's because it's not for you. It's not for you. You are not the target market, and they don't give a shit what you think. They literally don't give a shit what you think, and they don't give a shit about what anyone else thinks, right? Because it wasn't for you, right? It wasn't for you. It was Gabriel Jesus. They don't give a shit about.
I know, but why didn't they do it to Kieran Tierney?
Because Kieran Tierney wasn't there.
No, but Kieran Tierney had a long-term injury, but they didn't put shirts out. We're praying for you, Tierney, did they?
Well, first of all,
and then you fucked him off to Sociedad.
Well, first of all, Kieran Tierney might.
I'm not
answering it.
Oh, I'm not baiting you. I'm just saying.
I'm not answering. As Simon Jordan would say, I'm quantifying. All right. God. All right. And my quantification would be.
Is your replies all tan based?
No, my quantification. My quantification is this: Tierney might not be a religious man. Gabriel Jesus is clearly quite a deeply religious man. Right, and so
because he's called Jesus.
No, because listen. No,
what I'm saying is, if you're going to give the special treatment to Jesus, why not give it to Kieran Tierney, who had the same, who had probably a longer injury?
But if you're an atheist, you might be like, "Why are you praying to God?"
Yeah, but like even like we support you, Tierney. There weren't no, there was no flowers for him, was there? But for Gabriel Jesus, there wasn't there?
Well,
I just don't see the consistency in it.
What? Because they've done it once.
No, but like,
listen, mate.
Yeah, but why do it now?
If you're going to create a habit, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, but they should have started with Tierney if they thought that way about their players.
Well, you could say that about any injury in history.
Well, yeah, possibly.
Right, so shut up.
Well, West Ham didn't do it when Antonio had his car crash. I mean, I know when they celebrated the goal, they held his shirt up. Well, maybe they didn't go out.
Well, maybe they don't care about Antonio as much as we care about Jesus.
Yeah, well, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't need it.
I don't know. I just think I literally think. Do you know what?
I think that was like the club forced that upon the players to do it because they had the shirts printed. They all come out and stuff. It wasn't like the players went, you know what? We should have these shirts printed for him.
Well, do you know what? Maybe it was just a nice gesture. And if West Ham didn't do it, that's a West Ham problem. I don't think it's that big. I don't think it's that big.
Yeah, how much it costs for a shirt nowadays? Like, it's got to save the pennies, isn't it?
Well, by Arsenal's numbers, actually, Arsenal are doing fantastically well. I saw those being released.
Oh, well,
Arsenal doing
the Athletic Post.
I got it from less something Arsenal. But they probably got it from the Athletic. Now I will find it. They're really good. I use them a lot because I don't do the Athletic because I can't get Le Grove. They're called Le Grove, and they release a load of like Arsenal's numbers. But no, I don't. I think most things are only an issue when Arsenal do them.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you lot think. Like, I literally don't care what anybody else thinks. If Arsenal wanted to put out a message for Gabriel Jesus, the other thing is, right, is that Gabriel Jesus has had a number of injuries at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Right. And what I think is particular, and it might have been we don't know whether he might be having mental health issues because of them. Like,
I'm not disputing that.
I'm not digging you out for that because that's not. I know you. That's not what you're saying. But like, they might be. He might be experiencing something, and they're just trying to show him a bit of solidarity. I just think, and you listen to people and they're like, oh, it's cringy. And what? They're not doing it for you. They're not doing it for you. And the people who are loudest and negative about it are only drawing more attention to Arsenal.
Yeah.
So do what you like. Like, I just think it was so, anything. It's always cringe when Arsenal do it and whatever. And when anyone else does it, it's not that big a deal. Or Arsenal are the first team to do it. Other teams will probably do it in the future, but it won't be cringe. I think bollocks. Don't care. Like, don't like it. It wasn't for you. It's for Gabriel Jesus.
Okay. But he is unfortunately out for the rest of the season after failing Bruno in the FA Cup.
I am after what?
Fouling.
Oh, fouling. Is that what happened? I feel really sorry for him, and this is why. Because I do think he's a genuine footballer, right? I think he's a good footballer, but I think he really wants to play football. Like, sometimes I look at footballers and I'm like, do you love it? And I do think he loves it. In the same way that as much as I love to hate Tottenham and I will laugh at any Tottenham team that loses, I do feel for Dominic Solanke because that's shit. And 6 weeks is minor compared to what Gabriel Jesus has got going on.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 weeks is basically Bukayo Saka's injury. I don't get why fans celebrate somebody else's misfortune. I just don't get it. Like, if I am, I can understand enough that Rodrigo getting injured has had a massive impact on the performances of Man City this season. Right?
Yeah.
Because he's still a person, and he's a very good footballer as well. And Man City would always suffer his loss, but I would never be like, oh yeah, let's make him. I would love to see him get injured. I don't get that mentality as a football fan. Like, I want my team to be the best.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, let's hope he breaks his leg. It's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So
that's fair enough.
Right, but let's West Ham under Potter.
Yeah. Potter's at the wheel, but he's carving his team. He's moulding his team. He's got the pedal on. He's spinning it at a gradual pace.
What has he got? Patrick Swayze holding his hands.
Yeah,
that's his pottering.
Well, you could. Yeah, with Whoopi Goldberg overlooking him. I was going to go more like the Demi Bobby Moore.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Demi Moore. Oh, Demi Bobby Moore.
Demi Bobby Moore.
That's very clever. I like that. I'm proud of you.
And maybe that's a grok image that needs to be created. Bobby Moore,
Demi Moore.
With Graham Potter moulding a vase.
A vase.
Like a wine jug.
A cup.
No, that ain't gonna work.
But you could win a cup this year.
No,
that's why it's clever.
No, we can't.
Are you in the Europa? Oh, they didn't make it last year, did you?
You inadvertently dug me out here. I don't like this. At all. The thing is, you didn't even mean it.
No, I didn't.
And then you just realised, I've just bantered Adam with him. Right
I'll take it, though.
You're right there with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool.
It's not easy to point it like this.
Well, yeah, I can see that. Potter's at the wheel. And I think in his first 3 games, I've seen much more potential at the squad, and the players playing a better style of football in that first 8 days that he was there than Lopetegui in his first 7 months. And I think that was, as we've stated on the podcast before, Lopetegui was one of the guys I nominated to get the chop. Because if West Ham were not in a top 4 position based off that window, the fantastic window, big spending window that we had, and to be lying 14th or 15th, 14th in the league after half a season has passed.
I mean, you're pushing Man United and Tottenham.
Yeah, but ideally, I think all 3 of us would have been like to be at the upper end of the table in this conversation.
I think afterwards we need to talk about Tottenham's relegation form, don't we? After this, but
well, you know what? If you want to later, you can actually revisit your Let's All Laugh at Man U, because.
Mate, I could laugh at the city of Manchester right now.
Because in fairness, we blew it off because they hired Amorim, and we took out the fault.
Yeah,
that's a good appointment.
I mean, beat Arsenal.
Let's nip it in the bud before we shoot ourselves the foot. But really, we should have just carried on with it.
They should never have beaten Arsenal, should they? Did you see in the highlights?
I did watch the whole FA Cup game. Yeah.
They should never have beaten Arsenal. Oh God, we gifted them that result.
Yeah,
but no, sorry. The six West Ham. Sorry.
Yeah, so with West Ham, I'm really happy with Potter. I think in terms of even just the small things, like interviews with like the press, like he just comes across very natural and eloquent and educated in terms of how he's putting the answers across, and I think he's got a really good response for that. But he pulls no punches, like. He was talking about being linked with a player, and he was just like, yeah. And then, what is he? What do people expect him to say? He's been linked with a player that ain't his player. He's not going to answer it, is he? And but yeah, it's things like that kind of really, really encouraged me. But with Lopetegui, it was always I feel for the guy because
he clearly wasn't a bad person.
He was never a bad person. He was a gentleman, like absolute gentleman. As before, the stuff he done off the scenes it doesn't get noted as much. But he was a bit of a fool guy.
Because when some managers, they clearly look like they could be volatile. When you look at people like Mourinho, could be quite volatile. Conte could be quite volatile. Even De Zerbi, you look and think volatile characters. The report suggests volatile characters. Yeah. You don't get that from Lopetegui.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And I think West Ham fans. He wasn't the appointment we wanted. He wasn't the appointment we needed, but we hired him anyway because he was a free agent. It was a cheap option, and we had to support him in that. I mean, again, the media videos.
A great window, wasn't it? It was a great window.
It was such a good window, but now, again, this is where the whole we'll touch on transfer window after we talk about West Ham, but the whole. Thing about Steiden is that on paper he's brought in good players like Jean-Claire Todibo on loan, you think he's a fantastic player, has been never present in League One. But then it comes to light that he's got an injury history. He's got an injury history because apparently he's got an injury history because of a car accident he had when he was younger, and because of that he had surgery and one leg is longer than the other. So he's got a constant issue with that. I'm not saying it's like if he stands on one foot he's 6'2", and then if he stands on the other he's 5'7". It's not that dramatic, but there's a slight difference in there. But it adjusts his ability. I mean, he's been a French international, so it can't be that bad. But obviously it's an ongoing issue that again we didn't take into account. So there's that. But then we've got an obligation to buy him in the summer for £40 million. So that's money we could have avoided if we'd done a bit more research on him. But I think we've gone for the name and the associated links with that player. I mean, the same thing could be said for Guido Rodriguez. I mean, people in Spain were raving about the World Cup winner when he was at Betis, and he was on the verge of joining Barcelona. That all went tits up for some reason. Stuyden got wind of it, swooped in, took him out of Barcelona, flew him straight to London, and we signed him. But then it comes out that he's not built for Premier League football. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's not a Premier League style player. Like, you look at Diego Forlan when he was at Man United. He was here or there for Man United, scored a few good goals, but then he went to Atletico Madrid or Villarreal or wherever he went. Mm-hmm. Completely different beast. He won UEFA Cups. He was challenging for the Liga titles. It's just crazy. It's just crazy to think that, just trying to compare that. But yeah, I think we've got wooed by the links and Barcelona after him. We've nicked this player off Barcelona. Well, we've done a really good job with that. Gets on the field. He's tragic. Yeah. Tragic. So the whole sort of recruitment process for Stuyden now, upon reflection, has come under scrutiny. Like we paid £25 million for Nicholas Füllkrug, 31-year-old. When has West Ham ever paid that amount of money for someone over 30?
To be fair, mate, though, you were all in on that.
I love the fact that we've got him, but again,
you've been linked with Evan Ferguson. It's almost like you're replacing him before he's even had a start.
Well, he's injured, isn't he?
No, but that's the problem.
Yeah. So that's my argument with the Füllkrug thing is that I do think he is a top player, and he hasn't had a bad injury record. But the fact that we had the wrong manager in place at the time when we had Füllkrug, it broke down his development. So,
development? He's 31.
No, I mean, that match fitness development sort of thing. So, like, when you look at Antonio, like, he's got a history of having hamstrings like cheese strings, right? But if he plays all the time, if he plays all the time, gets match fitness, looks after his body or whatever, he becomes match fit. Because Füllkrug was match fit when we signed him, but he wasn't played. He wasn't played. He was like, he'd come on for 15 minutes here. He played a cup game there, and then he played another 15 minutes. It was all cameo. Mm-hmm. Then international break happened. And because he had all them cameos, he wasn't maintaining his match fitness. Germany threw him straight in the pack. He played the full 90 minutes. He scored a goal. In training, he broke down. So it's just that you need a consistent level of fitness to be able to do what you need to do. And it's like Ledley King. Ledley King only went swimming and played match days.
That's right.
But you maintained him. He played every week, and that was the same thing with Füllkrug. And then as soon as he had this injury, and then he was come back, and then I think he missed a lot. I think he missed 2 international breaks over that period. And then he started to get into form. So he scored against Leicester when we lost. And then he was playing. And then he scored against Man City. And then Lopetegui was sacked. So then Potter come in, brought him straight in. He looked like an absolute different player, like a much better player. But then because of the intensity, again, of what it was before, Potter's encouraged Füllkrug to make sprints because he can do that. Gone to sprint, pulled out of his hamstring, he's out 3 months. So again, it's just mismanagement. There's those sort of players you really need to keep them playing at least half a game every week, because otherwise they're just going to break down. So for Füllkrug, I actually like to rate, again, it's a time factor with him, but
You haven't got much time though,
and that's the problem. We ain't got much time. He's still our youngest striker on our books, and he's 31 years old.
Yeah, that's not good.
And our other replacement is Antonio. Is unfortunate. You can't ever
to play.
Yeah. Well, you can't ever see a car crash potentially taking the striker out for the rest of the season. Nobody can.
Rest of the season, mate. That's a minimum.
Well, they reckon he's back training, doing light training. Yeah, crazy.
He fucking nearly died.
Yeah, I know. He's a lucky boy.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
But he might play.
And good luck to him, because he's another one. He's like one of those, like,
he's such a good character.
Footballers, nice guys. I can't really imagine anyone being like, oh yeah, I hate Antonio.
Sorry, we're just watching Man United Rangers, and Rangers have just scored an 88th minute equaliser.
And I am so happy about
that. 1, 2, 3.
Let's all laugh at Man U. Let's all laugh at Man U. La 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 la. Hey. But can I ask you a question then? So you said lots of positive things about Potter.
So I'm quite pleased that Potter's.
That wasn't the question I was going to ask, but carry on.
No, because I hadn't finished the first one. I think in a synopsis sort of way, I think he is the right man for West Ham. I think he needs to get the right people in to suit his style of play. I think he can mould players in certain aspects. But I'm quite happy with the fact that we've got him, and I'm here for the ride now. Whereas I wasn't with Lopetegui. So if we don't get any results and we scrape, we finish 12th, I think, given the circumstances, I suffer it. But again, it's the whole transition period, because now we've got his right-hand man, Cole McCauley, coming in. He started today, actually. Stuyden's on his way out. So we've got this transition now to form the Brighton model again, so that even Dan Ashworth's available.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I think there's lots to be positive about.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I think signing Potter is incredible.
Yeah, it's great. Great work.
I think that might be the biggest signing for West Ham since Tevez. Like, I genuinely can't think of any. I can't think of anything. But name me a better signing.
What, Pyatt?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right, Pyatt. But Potter, in terms of the players you've had.
Yeah.
Potter is the most impressive signing, and I know that sounds like really pretentious because you guys won a European Cup, right? And you did, right? But Potter, like
Potter. You sounded like Malfoy then.
No, but you know what? I like Graham Potter, and I liked him at Brighton, and my respect grew for him when he had that interview about winning the fucking Champions League. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Is that then we're going to win the fucking Champions League, and then they sacked him, and I still think they acted too fast in sacking him.
Have you heard that podcast with him, the High Performance podcast?
No,
with him on it. By the sounds of it, I think he was given a very, very rough ride at Chelsea, and there was a lack of patience behind it, because I think he lost his dad as well. In that same situation with Lopetegui, really, when you think about it, not given enough. In a nutshell. But I'm sympathising for Potter for the same reason I'm criticising Lopetegui. But after hearing that, it kind of makes sense. but with Potter, I think he got given a lot of. I think he was working with a squad of 50. His dad had died. I think there was a lot of players there that he was criticised for being too hands-on with them, and trying to get their persona out of them and stuff like that. And I think Todd Bowley was a bit like, not too sure about it. It's just coaching. He's like, well, I'm a man manager, and I don't think they like that. So I don't think he really got the full opportunity there. But again, with Lopetegui, I think I'm not saying the reason why I wanted him. Oh, you jammy bastards!
Bruno as well.
Bruno.
Good goal though.
Yeah, good goal. So basically, with Lopetegui, I don't think he was ever the right man for the job. Whereas I think Potter could have been the right man for Chelsea for that appointment, because you don't invest all that money and buy his players to not.
Can I ask you a question though?
Lopetegui was never the right man, despite the fact that his dad died towards the end of his West Ham tenure. So
can I ask you a question though? Like, I think West Ham fans are excited, but I also think, is there an element of maybe people just need to calm down a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think.
Can I quantify that? Because in fairness, so you've played 3, you've lost 2, right? Now
don't get me started on the Aston Villa FA Cup.
No. Hang on. Let me finish first.
That was fucking
because
great.
You've lost 2. You were beaten by Palace, but you were well beaten. I don't care about the red card. You were well beaten. You lost to Villa, and then, if I'm being honest, mate, you were lucky against Fulham.
Well,
hang on.
What was we though?
2 goalkeeper mistakes.
Yeah, but
they were gifts.
Yeah, but Fulham had 2 goalkeeping. Yeah,
mistakes. But I don't care about Fulham. I'm talking about West Ham.
Yeah,
you
but
had 2 gifts.
Well, yeah, but so did Fulham.
I'm not here talking about Fulham. I'm talking about West Ham.
Yeah, but Fulham had gifts.
I'm not talking about Fulham.
If we didn't give Fulham, they would never have got the 2 goals.
So it would have been a 0-0 draw then.
It would have been 1-0, wouldn't it?
So either way, it would have been a who to?
West Ham.
But they had 2. All right, so 1-0, right?
So we still won the game then.
All right, great. You won it, but like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have won the game, but what I mean is like, you've lost 2 and you've won 1 by the skin of your teeth, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think in terms of the Fulham, you asked the people that went to the Fulham game there. I think there was a much higher intensity of play. I know the statistics read differently, but there was an urgency to win the ball. Like the 2 goals that 2 of the goals that we scored were because we pressured. We'd done a high press. We made them make mistakes. Well, they didn't make mistakes because they had no one around them. They made mistakes because they had a player up their arse, and he put them under a bit of pressure to then make a ball.
So what you're saying is that the high press is good.
Yeah, I'm saying that we're
just like Arsenal then.
Well, yeah, effectively, yeah, and we'll start copying the back post corner routine next. So.
Well, listen, mate, if it gets you as many goals as it gets Arsenal, then you should copy it.
If it works.
No, but what I mean is because you see a lot of the teams are doing the high press thing, and it's becoming much more visible. And then I think I was playing devil's advocate. So like I was playing devil's advocate there because I know you've lost 2 out of 3, and like I said, you were gifted 2 goals, but one of the things you're going to get with Potter is you're going to get a style of football.
Yeah.
And you're going to get an identity, and you're going to get players knowing exactly what they're supposed to be doing when they're supposed to be doing it. And that has been
the whole trouble this season, was that despite West Ham beating Ipswich 4-1 or getting a 2-0 win at Palace away and drawing with Fulham, drawing with Brentford and results like that, we didn't know how the West Ham play? Well, what's their style of play? What are they trying to do? And I think we just struggled with that for the first 19 games.
Yeah,
it was always, but then you look at the performances that we had. We did play better than Moyes' last season. That statistically, we improved in every area other than conceding the goals. Like conceding the goals, we basically bought a brand new backline. And we still conceded the same amount of goals, but then we ended up scoring less. So when you look at like the amount of shots we had, the amount of shots we had on target, the possession, everything improved, but nobody was enjoying the football. And so, but now when you look at the stats that Potter's started doing now, they have dipped to what Lopetegui stats were, but we're playing a better brand of football. So the statistics are quite misleading.
It's only 3 games, Paul, as well.
Oh yeah, it's 3 games. I mean, 2 of them have been in the Premier League, and one was the FA Cup that I think personally, injuries aside, we could have won that. Firstly, the referee giving a corner that wasn't a corner. And then the bloke who took the shot for the corner ends up scoring the equaliser, and then they just got momentum. It's just a bit. I'm still a bit reeling about that and I think he'd only been a job in a day, but we played so much better in a day, and that's the bit that's encouraging. But yeah, he's only 2 weeks in a job, like 2 weeks in a job tomorrow, today actually.
But also, I know that we're going to. I mean, maybe that segues us into transfers.
Yeah.
And we can talk about West Ham first. Then, how concrete are these Evan Ferguson things?
I think the Evan Ferguson links, there's substance to it, but there's a waiting game on Brighton's part, because I know that they were dependent on Danny Welbeck's fitness, which I think he has been playing games recently, and also Evan Ferguson's fitness, because apparently he's injured.
That's it. That's my only thing, right? Is you can't buy a croc, and don't get me wrong, right? If Arsenal bought Evan Ferguson a year ago, I'd have been buzzing. Right?
Yeah.
But he's only young.
He's still 20.
He's 20, right?
He's starting striker for Ireland.
That's all lovely. My problem is that he's 20. He's already had a couple of injuries that have kept him out for long periods.
Yeah.
That's concerning. That's got to be concerning.
Yeah, it is. It is. But again,
because you're going to have to pay
at
50,
20.
You're going to have to pay money for him.
Yeah. I think you're looking at 50, 60 minutes for him.
And don't get me wrong, you could be buying Harry Kane 2.0.
I think he is the nearest thing to Harry Kane. I know people will watch this back and laugh at it, but
no.
I think in terms of
that's been said before.
Yeah.
That's been said before. So I don't think that's new. But what I mean is that he might not. The injury record is concerning, and Harry Kane has a poor injury record, but at times, especially with his ankles, that's a tall person's problem, isn't it? Ankles. But Harry Kane was scoring by this time.
Yeah.
And scoring many goals by this time.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I like
it. By 20?
He was playing, wasn't he, at 20? He was scoring goals.
I thought, I suppose he had, like with Harry Kane, I know his loan spells weren't colourful, were they? I mean, he was at Millwall, Leyton Orient, I think he barely got into double digits at any club he'd been at. But then Tim Sherwood sees something in him, he plays, and then he becomes the record goal scorer he is. It's just a sliding doors moment and someone taking a punt.
Yeah, of course.
And also down to injuries as well, which is what West Ham have benefited from. Like, we've had injuries, but we've played our youth players and have been, that's what West Ham's about, is about promoting that next academy product, because we have a hit-track history of producing good academy players. And I've not seen a successful academy since a Joe Cole era. That is what I've seen now. I think now they are probably on par with it in terms of where they were as players to reach a potential.
I can relate to that. I think Arsenal were in that era as well. I think Arsenal were in an incredible era.
Bear in mind, our two academies were cup finalists 2 years ago.
I know.
And we beat you 5-1. And you look at the players that come in for Arsenal, like Nweri played in that cup final, but got bossed by our players, and Lewis Skelly as well, another one. And how comes Arsenal can take that punt in the youth, but then West Ham seems to be holding it back a bit. It's like, guys,
because Nweri's playing as well, and Lewis Skelly, he's injured, but he's been starting.
Yeah.
Over Zinchenko, who after Calafiori and Timber, who's having to do everything.
Yeah.
He's starting. Zinchenko's looking like he might go in January, which I would be personally sad to see, because I think he's a lovely person to have in the squad. He's just not better than what we've got.
Yeah.
And Lewis Skelly has come in as a midfielder, dropped back to a bit like Ashley Cole, dropped back into defence, and has been incredible.
Yeah.
So I think what I mean is I think it's just
Evan Ferguson was.
Yeah, go on. Let's come back to Evan Ferguson.
Sorry. Yeah, we went off a tangent there.
Yeah,
but I think Evan Ferguson is, the links are. I think there's substance. I think there's track history with that, and I think now, when the rumours of Potter was coming in, and the links were starting to develop even further, you could see sense in it, because Potter gave Ferguson his debut in a cup game.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's
and now we've hired the recruitment side, and then there's link about Ashworth coming in as well.
Yeah.
It makes sense for Ferguson to come to us. But if I was Brighton right now, I'd be a bit reeling about the fact that West Ham have just hired their recruitment team, or the head of recruitment and potential director. So would they want to fuel the fire? And that's the bit that worries me. I think in Brighton's sense, if Arsenal come in with a bid, they would probably sell him to Arsenal over West Ham, because we are we could be a competitor in competition with Brighton. You know, as sad as that, as mad as that sounds, when you think 10 years ago West Ham being in competition with Brighton,
I think Arsenal. I think maybe Arsenal and Brighton relationships is pretty good because they stepped back from the Moises Caicedo thing. They paid the right money for Trossard. And I think so maybe that relationship would be better between Arsenal and Brighton than it would perhaps be between West Ham and Brighton.
Yeah.
But I do not see Arsenal going for Evan Ferguson. I wouldn't hate it,
no,
but I don't see it. And
it like in my head, I can see it working.
Arsenal?
Ferguson at Arsenal, yeah.
No, like I said, I don't hate it, but I just don't see it.
I think Arteta would want to drift towards something different. You know, so I think he don't. I think he doesn't have time to put pressure on a 20-year-old to come good. He needs someone now.
So I've been. Is that okay to talk about Arsenal real quick?
We're talking transfers and links, and we'll just bat off.
So okay, so Arsenal have been linked to everyone because everyone is making this kind of argument that Arsenal need a striker.
Yeah.
Let me just start by saying I see it. Right, I get it. Arsenal need to buy an out-and-out striker. The problem with buying an out-and-out striker is that Arsenal's game of football doesn't really suit an out-and-out striker.
Yeah.
Because we have this kind of pressing forward, which is why we bought Jesus, which is why we then ended up with Havertz. Because we have this pressing forward who can do all the things so that you can bring in the other players, right? They don't really have someone who's going to just... Unless Arteta is planning to change the style of football, we don't really have a space for someone who's just... I'll use Lewandowski as an example. We don't really have a space for someone who's just going to stand there, right? And that's not a criticism of Lewandowski, by the way, but it's just an observation on the way that you're looking, these type of strikers that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And obviously, Arsenal's ideal buy would be Isak. That's not realistic.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, period.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen in January, right?
Yeah.
So I think that needs to be cleared up off the bat. It's not going to happen, right? So that's the ideal striker. We're not going to get him. So who do Arsenal buy? And I do think Arsenal will try to do business, but just to kind of look at, there's a couple of like Arsenal in the know accounts that I trust. One of them is Team News and Ticks, and then there's another one called the Purple Panel. Right, they are the two Arsenal in the know accounts that I would pretty much die by in terms of in the past they've been correct. And then obviously if David Ornstein says it, then it's almost certainly happening.
Yeah.
But the Purple Panel has basically said that Arsenal are ideally looking for a loan with an option to buy. So Arsenal aren't looking to spend money, even though they have it. Arsenal aren't looking to spend money in January, which sort of signals to me that they're looking to spend money in September or in July, whatever. But they've also got looking to offload probably as many as Jorginho, Zinchenko, Partey, etc. to bring in Mr. Zubimendi, which I think suggests to me that Zubimendi would then be the holding and Partey and then Rice would play 8, which I'm quite excited by, because I think particularly over the last month, you've really seen Rice show his colours as that progressive midfielder, come into the boxes, those late runs, making the key passes, scoring key goals.
Yeah.
So I don't hate it. So I can see the vision there. But in terms of what Arsenal are going to do right now, they're looking for a loan. No one is going to loan. They're going to want money up front in January. None of this option or obligation. I mean, obligation is probably a little bit more attractive, but none of this option to buy. Arsenal are going to have to do business. So we're definitely out of the race for the Vlahovic because Juventus want money and Juventus are hard to do business with. So we're not going to go there. Cunha is looking like he's going to go to Forest.
That's mental, that thing. That is absolutely crazy, isn't it?
But I get it, and that's fine.
The fact that they're preparing a £60 million bid for him.
Yeah. And then,
but again, if you're Forest, why wouldn't you?
Well, of course. It's good business for us.
You're in the top 3 of the Premier League. You've got potential European football if you keep it up.
And
you're not going to get relegated.
No.
I think
it's great. Yeah. And do you know? And is Edu not in Forest yet? Is he already there?
He is.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your links. And so and just so you've got
I forgot about it again at Forest.
And so then you've got Cunha, right? So that he could have been Arsenal bound, maybe. But here's something interesting. So Arsenal were linked to Cunha. We're also linked to Sesko. Cunha is 25. He's got 65 career goals, but 98 goals and assists. That's because Cunha can drift out to like any of the wings. But then you've also got Sesko. Sesko is 21, right?
I like Sesko.
So
it's Slovenian, isn't he?
So do I.
Yeah.
82 career goals, 95 goal and assists.
Again, like it's the standard of football that he's playing, isn't
That's
it?
true.
I mean, he was in Austria, now he's in the Bundesliga.
That's true.
But under the Red Bull model, isn't he? So,
yeah, that's true. But the deal was unlikely because they don't want to sell in January. And apparently Arsenal are respecting that. Fine, Arsenal are trying to maintain good relationships. So Arsenal aren't probably going to go there. The only thing that excites me particularly about Sesko is he's got that target man thing. He's 6'5".
Yeah.
He's fucking massive. So if we're not going Sesko, we can't get Isak. Cunha's looking like he's tied up. Where are Arsenal going to go, right? And I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal did nothing, right? I think Arsenal might actively try to bring someone in, but I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal did nothing. So who's available? And the answer, I like, who's available? Who are we buying? Like, who do we think we're going to get in that's going to win us the league without spending 100 plus? Tell me.
Danny Welbeck.
Exactly. There is absolutely
Rashford.
Do you know what? Yeah, I did make notes on Rashford. I made notes on Eucharist, right? I don't see either of those happening.
No, I can't.
If I was going to choose, I'd probably choose Rashford on Premier League experience for a short-term loan. I don't see the point in buying Eucharist if you want to buy someone like Sesko or Isak, right? I don't know who else we're going to buy.
Ollie Watkins, for now. You know, like for now, like
but I don't think Arsenal are buying those players.
Young Visser, Brentford.
No, I don't think that's happening. That's definitely.
He's available though.
I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't see it. But I suppose this kind of brings me back to me making a case for Kai.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Nah, he's too injury prone, mate.
I don't think he is.
He's got ankles like cocktail sticks.
I don't think he has though. I think when you look at his injury record, I think his longest term out of 15 games was with a broken toe. I think he may have ongoing ankle issues, but he's not a long-term injury problem. Like he'll probably miss 1-2 weeks, and then he'll play 4 or 5. Then he'll probably miss 1 week.
But that's not good enough.
Yeah, but if you're rotating a squad, he might be fitter through that. If he's Everton's lone man.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't want Dominic Calvert in Arsenal.
I think it's a cheap stopgap, isn't it? He's 6 months left on his deal. If you went in with a bid like 15 million quid to Everton,
they are not taking 15 million quid for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. They are not
15, 20.
But I don't want to spend 20 million quid on him.
Well, yeah.
I just don't see the point.
I'm just saying potential options. Like if you need someone in,
mate, I take Chris Wood for 20 million over 6.
He's just signed a new deal.
No, but I'm being cynical. But I'm not taking Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Like I'm just not.
Callum Wilson for 6 months.
No.
Callum Wilson for 6 months.
No, Kai Havertz is better.
What, as a number 9?
He's a better footballer. And do you know what?
My dad don't like Kai Havertz as a striker.
Your dad's not on the podcast. Listen.
He's probably listening now. We've got 3 viewers.
Well, if he's listening, fine. Write something in the comment box. The problem is, right, and just to kind of preempt anything, as soon the second, right, that Callum Wilson has to press the way that Kai Havertz and Odegaard has to press, my guy's going off. Don't try and tell me different because it's not going to happen.
But he would be the bastard that you need, wouldn't he?
What, the bastard going off?
No, if Callum Wilson was playing, he could be that outside punt, cheap punt that could just see you out the rest of the season.
Maybe as an impact star, but he ain't no starter.
He could start.
No.
He knows where the back of the net is, isn't he? He's had injury problems. He's coming towards the end.
He does know where the back of the net is. My problem is, right, as soon as he has to press, as soon as he has to play the Arsenal way, his hamstrings are not going to take it. They're not.
I don't know.
Mate, he is shock. He's got a shocking
I'll take Callum Wilson at West Ham.
Maybe you have him over Evan Ferguson. He's got a shocking injury record. I'm not having it. And this is so. I did do some number crunching on this. So I did actually think about it before we had this debate. But this is my case for Kai Havertz, right? He has got 17 golden assists this season, right?
Yeah.
The only people who are better than him right now, right? Salah, Haaland, Palmer, and Isak, and those four are on pens. Havertz is not. So, and because you can't beat someone with a stick if they don't take penalties, but they will take penalties, and Havertz doesn't. And listen, I get it, right? Havertz had a shit December. And I can say that, and I am like Havertz fanboy. I love Havertz. I love what he does for my club.
And the FA Cup performance as well. Right?
So December and the first 2 weeks, so 6 weeks, right? We should not have lost against Man United, right? That 6 weeks was shocking. Okay, but people have dips in form, and at the top, you could argue that at the top echelons of football, that's not okay, right? But those numbers are quite. That's Salah is a better footballer than Havertz. Haaland is a better striker than Havertz. Palmer is going to be the next big thing, and Isak.
He's not a striker though, is he, Palmer? But neither is Salah really. They're wide men.
But nor's Havertz. Havertz is a midfielder by everyone else's analysis, and Isak is the ideal striker that we can't have. So actually, when you look at it like that, Havertz is the best of everything else that we can have. So we've got the best of everything else. So where's our upgrade? Where's the next thing? Because if Arsenal do buy their perfect number 9, where does Havertz play? And if Havertz is going to drop to the bench, or if Havertz is going to be a rotational player, or if we need certain games where we need a target man as opposed to a presser. And I think that creates an interesting dynamic, because Arteta clearly loves Havertz, and so I can't see a scenario whereby Havertz just becomes fodder for the bench. I just can't see that, because I think that the value that he brings when he's on the pitch is incredible. Actually, I think Havertz's biggest problem is when he's got time to think, and when he's got time to think, he turns into like that Theo Walcott kind of scenario where he does too much and then he ends up just spoofing it. Actually, when Havertz doesn't have time to think, like his goal against, was it Dynamo? Was it Zagreb we played yesterday?
Yeah, Zagreb, yeah.
So the goal that he scored, it was a header, no time to think. The ball he laid off to Declan Rice he was falling over and just pushed the ball towards him, and he scored. And the goal that he scored against Aston Villa, literally on top of him, because Trossard's ball was incredible. Was it Trossard's? Trossard's ball was incredible, back of the net. Like, Havertz's biggest problem is when he's got time to think, but his pressing play is incredible.
Yeah.
His pressing is incredible. His engine is incredible. So whoever's coming in is going to have to be able to do that, as well as be this 40-a-year striker that everyone keeps talking about. I just think that people are so quick to jump on this Chelsea-driven propaganda of how shit Havertz is, and actually Havertz, non-penalty GA or whatever, is better than Chelsea strikers this year, with the exception of Hart, who has penalties and free kicks, of which Kai Havertz does not. So that is, I'm a bit impassioned by that, but I feel like I want to protect Havertz, because actually I do not think he is all of the things that people say he is, and I think he is so much better. Other than those players that I mentioned, he is so much better than everyone gives him credit for, and I would argue he is more of a team player than 50% of those, at least, that I've named, because he works for the team.
Yeah, he does do that
freaking hard.
Does do that.
So who do Arsenal buy that is going to do better?
How much would you spend in your head? on a striker. Like, what was your budget for?
Well,
for striker, realistic?
Anyone's money, right? So anyone's value is how much someone's willing to pay. Newcastle have turned around and said 140 million, right? Well, if Arsenal win the league, he's worth 140 million. Because we'll win the money for the league. The t-shirt sales will be ridiculous. Arsenal are so good at merch. We did the coat guy. We did the fucking coat guy.
Oh, that's fucking ridiculous, that.
But guess what? That's going to make money because people love the coat guy. Yeah, so it doesn't matter whether you think it's shit or not.
No, it's just
people are going to buy it because it's the coat guy, and people love the coat guy, and people love cult heroes.
If you had 70 to 80 million pounds to spend in January, I'm going to throw this proposition at you, and a certain,
I'd buy Harry Kane.
That's where I was going.
Do you know what? I would.
If Harry Kane was available,
I'd buy Harry Kane for two reasons.
For 70 to 80 million pounds,
I'd buy Harry Kane for two reasons. Right, one, he is an incredible finisher, and he still works the team. He drops. He tries to press. He cannot press the way Kai Havertz presses, but he tries.
Yeah.
Right. And two, I would love to stick that to Tottenham fans.
Yeah.
You've got Dominic Solanke, and like I said, wouldn't wish an injury on anyone. And I like Solanke, but we took Harry Kane.
Can you imagine it though?
That would be beautiful.
Can you imagine it? But then also you're saying about the marketing side of it, like shirt sales. The shirt sales will go through the roof because it'll be Campbell 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. No Kane, no game, like all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Did you see the Sol Campbell advert?
Yeah, I did. That's what I was kind of segueing into.
It's that level of petty that I can get into.
I mean, I've seen some reaction videos, and I must admit they're not beating around the bush on it.
It's wonderful, but you know what? He knows exactly
what a dirty.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Tottenham fans know. Arsenal fans are loving it. Do you know what? Yes, I would take Kane over every single player you mentioned, every single one of them, because none of them come close. And Kane is a better striker than Havertz, who's not a striker.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would have is that everyone else would have to work harder, because as much as Kane is a genuine player, he has not got the press that Havertz has got. If there's one thing that Havertz is better at, he will press the shit out of a defence.
Yeah.
And Kane was never fast. Havertz is deceivingly fast, because he just looks like a lanky
he glides.
He is so much faster than he's given credit for. I mean, like that goal he scored against West Ham, that breakaway goal.
Yeah.
Over the top from whoever it was. I don't know who put the ball over. Maybe it was Trossard, actually.
I think it was Trossard.
Yeah. And he beat the West Ham defenders, and I wouldn't have called it, because he's just so deceivingly fast. And that's why, I would defend Havertz, because I don't think he is a striker, but I just don't think you can fault the way that he's tried to be the striker that Arteta wants, even though he clearly isn't that striker. And I just think it's a bit bullshit. I get frustrated with Arsenal fans, particularly. I mean, Chelsea fans, I expect it from. People like telling us we've wasted our money. Listen, Anthony's about to go out on loan at Man United.
Yeah, he was going Betis, isn't it?
Yeah. That
they've had a terrible.
So I just think I honestly think, of those five.
So Harry Kane is them.
Well, hang on. Of those four, I will come back to that. Of those four, so we've got Salah, Haaland, Palmer, and Isak. I genuinely believe that Havertz is the next best of that five.
Yeah.
And I think he does more for the team than 50% of those, at least. But I would take Kane. And then if we weren't going to get anyone, or if...
Can you imagine if that happens, though?
It's not even on the card. That's not even been mooted, so I don't think it's happening. But
neither was Sol Campbell. No. When he went to Arsenal.
Yeah, I know, but that's
and with only 5 people in the press room.
Yeah, that's Wonderland stuff. The other one, do you know what? Like, I'm not even sure I'd take Rashford. I'm not even sure Rashford's ideal.
Yeah, I think he wants to go Barcelona anyway, but then they can't register players.
No.
So it's...
I honestly would not be surprised.
Actually, Milan don't want him. They'd rather have Carl Walker than Marcus Rashford. So
I honestly would not be surprised if Arsenal did no business.
Yeah.
And I don't hate it because I think, do you know what?
What about Caboose?
No. Why?
No, to play that number 9 role.
No. I don't dislike him as a footballer, but no, I just don't. If Arsenal bought him, then fine. Right, I'd get fully behind him. But when you look at people like, if I'm having Kudus or Sesko, I'd take a punt on Sesko over Kudus.
Yeah, I suppose with the money you're throwing at it, and you've probably got a potential.
And we probably have to pay more for Kudus.
Attention as well.
We probably have to pay more for Kudus as well.
Well, yeah, you probably. I reckon he could probably go for about £70 million.
I just don't see it.
But if we hold off until the summer, it's 85 million because that's his release clause.
Okay.
But
yeah, I just don't think Arsenal will go for him. I can't see who Arsenal. I just can't see who Arsenal are looking at. I just can't see where the thought process is, because if Zubimendi's coming in the summer, that's amazing business, by the way.
Yeah,
that's like a Rodri 2.0 kind of thing. That is incredible. If he can even fulfill half of his potential, that's incredible. Then you've got Zubimendi, Declan Rice, and Odegaard. That's a wonderful midfield. That is a wonderful midfield. So the next problem is, or the next thing is, who is the number 9? And Arsenal are going to have to spend, whoever it is, they're going to probably have to spend 100 million.
Yeah.
And when you look at who's available, when you look at it, and we're coming full circle, so it's probably boring now, but the only people you're looking at is, are you buying Isak or are you buying potential in someone like Sesko? And that's it.
Yeah.
Other than Harry Kane, if you're going to look for a retirement party.
Is there? This is the bit I wanted to touch on, like with West Ham in particular, like with Duran. Like Duran could be another one, couldn't it? But
you're buying potential again.
Yeah, but do I want to buy potential at 65 million quid? Not really, because that's not the model. That's not the model. I don't think that's the right model for any club.
No.
Yeah,
but I also think that
Real Madrid didn't pay that amount of money for Mbappe for a potential, did they?
No.
But
no.
They waited until they got him for free.
No.
Yeah, so
I don't think Arsenal.
They could have bought him for 150 million.
But I also don't think Arsenal have. If you look at Arsenal's windows, really, Arsenal haven't really bought potential. They bought players who
that's what I mean. That's
Arsenal.
That's why I can't see the Sesko thing happening, because I just.
But then who are Arsenal buying?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Because Arsenal have bought players who already have an identity that fit the system. Ben White, young but fit the system. Havertz was still only young when we bought him, fit the system, and he does fit the system.
Yeah.
Gabriel Jesus was still young. Zinchenko was probably the oldest of the lot. I think Partey was probably the oldest of the lot, to be fair. Jorginho doesn't really count because I don't think he was a long-term thing. He was just there and available, and Arsenal made something of him. But actually, Arsenal bought players who already knew who they were, and it worked for what they wanted.
Yeah, even under Wenger, wasn't it? Like they went out and they bought Wiltord, they bought Pires. They were names, weren't they? They were names before they even played for Arsenal. But the bit with the potential, what I was leading to with that was the fact that why can't the club scouting find that potential at such a discounted rate? Like Aston Villa went out and sourced Duran from the MLS for £18 million. I mean, that's still a lot of dough for potential.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at, 2 or 3 years later, they're looking at getting rid of him for 65 million quid. Like that's a good investment.
That's the only thing. That's the only issue I have with Arsenal, is that and they've got better at it, and they have.
Because I remember under Wenger, they always used to buy this young 18-year-old from like the French second division. Like you could look at it was the curly-haired fella, the French guy.
Curly-haired?
Yeah. He had big curly hair. Went to Lazio, went to Marseille.
Guendouzi.
Guendouzi. They picked him up for £5 million.
That was an Emery buy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like in terms of what they used to do, but I don't see Arsenal doing that anymore. I don't see Arsenal going out and buying that young. Yeah,
but the only reason I like that, can I just follow that? The only reason I like that is because they are placing so much trust in Haaland, and so when they are buying players, they're buying players who improve the top 11, whereas they've already got the infrastructure coming through. Like, if you said to me, who would you like to see Arsenal play on the right wing? Nwaneri. If it's not Saka, it's Nwaneri.
Yeah.
Like, but we've got those players. Who do you want to see Arsenal play in the left back or pushing midfield? I want to play Lewis Skelly, mate.
Yeah.
Because that guy is better than who might come in, and Lewis Skelly will be. And
the way you feel about that is the same way I feel about our academy.
But and Arsenal have got a history of bringing, like West Ham, and West Ham have got some glory years. But like, some of the players that have come through the Arsenal academy have been absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And even more so over the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
Saka, Nwaneri, Emil Smith-Rowe, Nelson. Even if they're not Arsenal players, they are fucking banging Premier League players. Iwobi's been around for years, and he's always been Smith-Rowe, always been in the Premier League, and will always play in the Premier League. Willock, your boy Hutchinson.
Demari Hutchinson, yeah. I thought he was Chelsea boy, but he's
no,
Arsenal.
He's Arsenal, went to Chelsea, went to whoever, and then got sold to Ipswich. Chelsea picked him up for free.
He went to Ipswich on loan.
A bit like your boy who went to Man United, the boy that ducked out and went to United from Arsenal, thought he was going to get because Arsenal didn't offer him enough money. Yeah. Just stupid stuff. Nwaneri, Chelsea tried to hijack Nwaneri, and he went, no, I'm going to sign at Arsenal. And now look at him.
Yeah.
Arsenal have got so much to be excited about, and they've got so. And by the way, Per Mertesacker does not get enough credit for the job that he's doing.
No, that's fair. That's fair point. And then the problem is now you're getting teams like Chelsea and Man United that are using that youth system to make a profit, to buy a talent and spread the cost over 5 years somewhere else.
Yeah.
So again, like the sustainability of like producing young players and then keeping hold of them.
Yeah,
there's more, and that's what's wrong with the game is that Man United now are talking about selling Garnacho for 60 million quid to Napoli because
he's not going. He's not going there.
Well,
he's going to Chelsea.
Well, yeah, again, Chelsea. Chelsea bought Cole Palmer, but then they sold Gallagher. They sold. Yeah. Well, they're going to sell Trevor Chalobah, aren't they? And that it just doesn't stop. But even Man United are now looking at risking losing Kobe Mainoo. Like, this is a guy who stepped up for the England team. Like,
I just don't get it.
Like, yeah, it's just weird.
I'm actually really pleased that Arsenal aren't there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because I love the fact that I get to look at Nwaneri and think.
Well, you might be next year if you have to sell Nwaneri for. I'm not saying you will, but there's that possibility that he could go for big money. Like, I think he's rated £50 million already.
Yeah,
Lewis Skelly's worth 25 already. That's 75 million quid. That could go towards that striker that you need.
I don't think Arsenal are there. I don't think Arsenal are that. I think Man United and Chelsea.
You'd rather go without.
Well, yeah, I think so.
And give those boys the
I've spoken to
Like, you sold Smith-Rowe for 35 million.
Yeah, but that was quite clear that he wasn't going to. I think Arsenal, for the most part, Arsenal fans were like devastated, but I get it.
Yeah.
Same with Nelson, devastated, but I get it. When you look at Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly, Arsenal feel strongly about those players, like they did for Nelson and Emil Smith-Rowe. But I also think you can see the pathway where they can cement themselves.
Yeah.
So, for example, Lewis Skelly will probably be the left back. Like, Calafiori is already in trouble.
Yeah.
But then, if you look at Nwaneri can play on the right. But who drifts to the right? Odegaard. Now, the reason why I say that is because as much as I love Odegaard, I'm a deep believer that he's here for a short time, not a long time. And I don't begrudge him that, because I think he could go back to Real Madrid or wherever and be fantastic. So I don't begrudge him that. But then you can see the pathway into the squad for the long-term Nwaneri Saka hookup.
Yeah.
I just think the pathway is a little bit clearer. Whereas Emil Smith-Rowe is not better than Odegaard. he's not better than Declan Rice. Where's his pathway into the club? He deserves to play first team football because he's good enough, but he's just not good enough to do it at Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame because everyone wanted him to be good enough to do it at Arsenal. He just isn't. And that's okay. Arsenal got paid well. Emil Smith-Rowe will have a good career and he gets to stay in London. And Emil Smith-Rowe will never be booed. He's not like, Arsenal fans, when we get done dirty like we did with Van Persie and Adebayor, we don't forget. But we don't do dirty to people like Emil Smith-Rowe or Iwobi.
Yeah.
And I am proud of that as an Arsenal fan because I would never boo those players.
Yeah.
Ever. They didn't do anything. They just weren't good enough. And it's a shame because Emil Smith-Rowe was probably close enough. Just wasn't quite.
Yeah.
Just wasn't quite.
When you bought Trossard, that kind of made the rod for his back, didn't it?
I also think Trossard did better than people thought he was going to do.
Oh, Trossard's a fantastic player.
Yeah, I know you take him, but
there's things that he could be leaving Arsenal, isn't there?
Yeah,
with contract negotiations going on.
That Graham Potter link,
mate. I think he could probably go to a much bigger club than West Ham if he left Arsenal. But if it become available for the right price, I'd definitely take him.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's incredible.
I'd definitely take him. It improve our left hand side.
And he's always going to be the kind of the second guy behind Martinelli because of what Martinelli does.
Yeah,
and
I think Trossard's okay with that. I think he understands that he has to be part of a squad rotation, but be part of a good squad that can go and achieve things. But some players don't want to settle for second best and want to go to a lower club and prove themselves, don't they? But okay, well, looking at let's say we've touched on little bits on our club in terms of transfers, but transfer deadline day is next Monday. West Ham are playing Chelsea on that, so West Ham always have to have a game on transfer deadline day to make those last minute deals
even more difficult.
Very more difficult. So they have to get that all done before the Chelsea game. But out of the transfers that have happened so far in the Premier League, what ones have stood out the most to you? I mean, Man City now seems to be
Man City are being
activating their cash now.
Man City have been very reactive.
Yeah,
that's really reactive stuff. To be honest, mate, I haven't really been following the transfer window other than looking at what Arsenal are doing. I don't really care about what anyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Other than Man City being very reactive, but I suppose they have to be because they need to qualify. Ideally, they need to qualify for the top four. So I haven't really looked at what anyone else is doing, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, Man City have signed the young defender from Lens.
They've also bought a striker.
Huh?
Bought another striker in there.
They bought Mamouche.
Yeah, Egyptian, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen Harry travels? Like, bought something Egyptian. It's so bad.
Fucking Ben.
But again, that was 59 million quid. And it's ridiculous.
I know. The problem with that is now that the kind of the numbskull Arsenal fans are going, why aren't we buying? Because for all the other reasons, other reasons, who are we buying that betters?
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes because Havertz's December was shocking. It was so bad, but actually, he's not been bad.
No,
not really. And so,
again, I think he's on the pedestal, isn't he? So he's up there to be a target.
Yeah, and he's an easy target.
Yeah. But Aston Villa seems to be doing some good work. I mean, they've got that Daniel Marlon from Dortmund for 20 million quid. That is peanuts.
Also, if Nottingham Forest gets Cunha, that could be interesting. So.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I honestly have not really been following the transfer window.
I think I think it's been a very quiet window so far, but I think
next week could be quite interesting.
Make sure
you've got David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano on notifications.
Yeah,
I think there'll be a lot happening.
Ex-West Ham employee. I'll touch on ex-West Ham employee. Yeah, Purple Grove.
No, that's the Grove.
Purple Rain.
The Purple Grove.
Purple Rain.
The Grove is
I just touched on this. Ex-West Ham employees been getting a lot of criticism.
Purple Panel.
Yeah. He's been getting a lot of criticism, and I think it's very unjust at the fact that he's a very, very reliable source. Anything to do with West Ham news. He's got links with Arsenal. He's got links with Chelsea transfer news as well. So he's got links on West Ham. Mm-hmm. But he's been subject to criticism of that, which I think is very, very unfair. So those that don't like it...
Rashmin
Chowdhury. Yeah. Those that don't like it, don't abuse the geezer. He doesn't have to do it.
And we want his views.
Yeah, and we want news. But ex-West Ham employee, Dharmesh Seth, Kavik Sokol, David Ornstein, Jacob Steinberg.
Purple panel. Team news and ticks.
They're
my favourites.
They're the trusted guys. Don't believe some bloke from Braintree tweeting out because he's been watching transfer market evaluations. He's
been playing FIFA Pro Team.
Yeah, that's it. Or someone that's been playing Football Manager 2024 and
getting Braintree to the Champions League final.
Yeah, that's it. That's definitely us. Other than that, kind of wraps up this week's episode. I mean, hopefully we'll have Callum on the next week. Yeah. Obviously, Callum's not here because of family commitments, and that's fair enough. Being a dad, that happens. We didn't record last week for the same thing. We had commitments elsewhere, and it just doesn't tend to happen sometimes. But hopefully we'll do more. We've got to try and do more of this sort of stuff in terms of live streaming. Mm-hmm. I think I actually quite enjoy it. I'm not saying I like being in front of the camera, because I don't, but I think you hearing our opinion as well as seeing it is, and we can interact with you live. I think that could be a way forward for us. Mm-hmm. And we'll just extract the audio and post it on Spotify usually. So, that wraps it up, mate. Thank you for hosting this week in your very swanky.
Green's the colour of our logo.
Yeah, green and red. For the eagle-eyed viewers there, we have upgraded our sort of graphics and content, and that's about it. So Rob, do you want to say bye while you're going? Rob's left. He's finished already. So
ta-da.
No worries. Cheers,
Thank you very much, guys. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. We off?
Not yet. And we are now.
Oh, I've got to wait myself.